Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of The Shape of Water. Now if you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always with my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. So I really enjoyed The Shape of Water. I do feel I was kind of let down but by my own expectations of it. Like I really enjoyed it. It was just kind of different to what I thought it was going to be, but I think I was so hyped going into seeing this film, it was never going to fulfill those high expectations I had set for it. But nonetheless, I still really enjoyed this movie, and one of the really nice things and one of the great things about this movie was the overall feel to it. It just had this really nice a really nice feel to it, and it felt really warm and comfortable with itself and just comfortable. And this is really weird, but it just like reminded me of my nan. Like that's how I would sum this film up. It just felt really comfortable. You felt safe around it. It was, yeah, it just reminded me of my nan, minus like obviously the fishman sex. That didn't remind me of my nan at all. Let's move away, let's move on from that really quickly. But yeah, it's got a really nice feel to it, this movie. Another really huge positive in this movie is the performances from everybody. Octavia Spencer is brilliant, Richard Jenkins is brilliant as Giles. Obviously I've got to talk about Sally Hawkins as Eliza the mute. She gave the performance of a lifetime. She was so incredible in this movie. The fact that her character is mute and she essentially just had to carry this film with just facial expressions was phenomenal. She was truly breathtaking at points. Her facial expressions were just so emotive in every scene she was in, and I do think she does give an Oscar-worthy performance in this movie. And another thing about those three characters in particular, of Zelda, Giles and Liza, I really enjoyed their relationship and their kind of dynamic and chemistry. I thought they all played off each other really well, and it really helped build their relationship into kind of like believable characters, and they all kind of had a believable story that you could get truly invested in. But I have saved the best until last because Michael Shannon is so good in this movie. I loved to hate him, and this was another really great thing about this film, is that you instantly had a character you disliked in Michael Shannon's character. It's kind of that age-old film formula, is that you have a character straight away that you hate and a character that you like straight away. You just instantly want her to win in Eliza, and their kind of dynamic again all the way through this movie, with Michael Shannon thinking he has the power over her and really intimidating her in points. Again, it comes down to Shannon's performance and Sally Hawkins' performance with her wonderful facial expressions. I also really like the story in this movie. It felt very different, but I do have a few issues with this film. And a lot of it kind of does come down to the elements in the story. So I did really like this story. I say it did feel very different. It felt like a really interesting twist on a classic love story. Even though there were some cliches in it, it still worked for me. But one of like the biggest issues I have with this film is that it is a love story, essentially. It is a story, it's an unconventional love story, don't get me wrong, but it's still a love story nonetheless. And I think they totally missed the mark with that, because I felt like they really rushed the whole love element of Eliza's character and the fishman. I mean, it's like, you have the initial first meeting and then like we just kind of skim over a lot of stuff, and the second time they're meeting, she's already playing music to him, she's already giving him more food, and it just felt very rushed. It did feel like they were too comfortable with that. Like, okay, you know this is a love story, so you should be like instantly connected with these characters, but I still felt like it really could have been built up like this kind of whole forbidden love story. And that really leads on to my next point of, this is supposed to be a forbidden love story. It's not supposed to, like, this isn't supposed to happen. A fishman and a mute are not supposed to be together, you know. Like, and it should be harder for them to fall in love and be together than it actually was in this film. It was everything was made very easy, and I think like that is what ultimately let this film down for me is that everything was so easy. It was easy for her to escape from the facility with the fishman. It was easy for her basically to get him back to the river to freedom. And I think like a lot of these scenes didn't carry as much weight as they could have, and I do think that was let down to the kind of not as fleshed out story arc that those two characters has, as the other characters did have more fleshed out story arcs, if that made sense. They just could have spent a little bit more time building up that kind of relationship between the fishman and Eliza. But that being said, I did still really enjoy this movie. I really loved the feel that it had. It just felt like a nice warm hug after a cold, hard day. Really enjoyed this movie. It does have its flaws. That ultimately, that love story did let it down for me personally, but I'd love to know your thoughts on this. If you guys have seen The Shape of Water, then let me know what you thought about it, as always, down in those comments below. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!